So it seems that this new Horus Heresy release is finally upon us. We've got an absolutely enormous amount of new kits and boxes going up for pre-order. Hello and welcome back to Warspets Tactics, where today I thought we'd sift through all the myriad of things that are coming out with this new Horus Heresy release. It's been in the works for a good long while now, they've been building up hype for several months, and it looks like the initial offering for their new Horus Heresy is rather generous. Not only do we have the launch box set, but there's also quite a lot of other major models, accessories and upgrades coming at the same time. They aren't being delayed till later. So apparently the pre-orders for this will be going up on Saturday the 4th of June, and then there'll be a slightly longer pre-order than normal. I believe that when it goes live for pre-order there'll then be 2 weeks, and then general sale will likely be on the 18th of June. I think the language that they use in the preview article is just a little bit unclear on that. I think they're saying it's basically 3 weeks from now, so pre-order next week and then 2 weeks. It really does look like they're expending a massive amount of effort on this. We've got the big box starter set of course, and then all these other bits and bobs which we'll go through one by one in turn. Just for a quick rundown, we've got the Liber Hereticus books, a special weapon set and a missile launcher set, that new Kratos tank, a Deimos patterned Rhino, the Mark III and IV Legion tactical squads, the re-release of that quite nice Ahriman sculpt from Burning of Prospero, a whole bunch of Legion dice, a whole bunch of Legion transfers, a big galactic map poster thing, and also those head and shoulder pad sets for the Sons of Horus and Imperial Fists. We don't yet know the prices of these, so I'll probably follow up with a video sometime in the week. There's quite a few of these that I'm very interested to see the costing of. First up, of course, we have this Age of Darkness box set. We've talked about it in a few videos already on the channel, including that one as to how much use it might be in 40k, which I'll link down in the video description. It's really quite a hefty amount of plastic, 40 Space Marines, 10 Terminators, 2 characters, a Contemptor and a Spartan, never mind the massive Horus Heresy Age of Darkness rulebook, a whole bunch of dice and templates, and a few other side things like transfer sheets and that reference sheet. The rumoured price on this is £180, $299 or €225, the same as that Necromunda set. And just in terms of raw prices for what Games Workshop would typically charge for these individual kits, it does look like it's a spectacularly good deal by their standards, even if the asking price is pretty high. You are round about getting 50% off as a theoretical discount. Apparently as an incentive for ordering it through them rather than a discount retailer and get some money off. Apparently if you buy this through them you also get a few free objective tokens and some cards for the new reaction mechanic printed. I guess it's quite a nice gimmick if you were ordering direct through Games Workshop, though for me I think I'd still go for the discount retailer and take the very nice 10 to 20% off. Just to briefly touch on this for one last time, I am giving away 2 of these Heresy box sets for the June giveaway, which is just in a few days' time now. There's still a chance to enter if you'd like to. 2 equal ways to enter. Either support the channel's Patreon page for any amount, the link's down in the description, and of course that does help to keep these new videos coming. Or there's a completely free way to enter on the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, and then turn up to the Facebook page on the 1st of June. There'll be a post to enter the draw. Enter a photo of 40k miniature or any other imagery with your name and the date in the photo, and then that'll be a way to enter completely for free. I then put all the entries, both Patreon and Facebook, all into one pool, do the draw with a random number generator, and I'll announce the 2 winners on a channel update video around the 4th of the month. Now we know the release date of these, I know when I'll be dispatching them, so they should be in the post shortly after the 18th of June. There's similar giveaways on the channel every single month. I'll be sure to keep some interesting stuff coming, so feel free to sign up to the Patreon or check out the Facebook page, they're both linked in the video description. Moving on though to all the other exciting stuff. First up, as well as the core rulebook, there's 2 enormous tomes for the 2 main devotions of Space Marines. There's the Liber Astartes book for the Loyalists and the Liber Hereticus for the Traitors. Very hefty hardback books with around 350 pages, and they have the full rules for playing all of those legions. They have warlord traits, rites of war, unique reactions and things, faction abilities and unit profiles. It sort of sounds a bit like the indexes done at the start of 8th edition, but taken to a whole nother level with a lot more rule support. I'm going to be guessing that they'll be fairly pricey though, judging on how many pages and the fact that they're hardback. Next up we've got those special weapons coming, 60 pieces including 10 plasma guns, melter guns and flamers, and some Volkites and a rotor cannon too. I'm very interested to be seeing the price of this, hopefully I'll update later in the week. But just getting that sheer amount of bits could be pretty handy for a fair few armies. In particular, I think Chaos Space Marines might be particularly interested in this, as those rotor cannons could be great for converting chain cannon havocs. Then there's a set of 20 Legion heavy weapons. You can either have your guys packing heavy bolters or missile launchers, a small box with 10 of each. Like the special weapons, it's a plastic kit, and depending on just how much they ask for these, it could be a very interesting way to get your hands on a whole ton of Devastators or Havocs equipped with those weapons. You could perhaps pick up this box and one of those squads of the Mark VI Space Marines from the Age of Darkness box set, which, because of how many they are, I'm sure that they'll be going fairly cheaply on second hand online. Next we have this mighty Kratos assault tank, a brand new Heresy era heavy tank. It's kind of similar to both the Sakaran tank and the Fellblade, and it's basically a middle version between the two of those. I'm hoping that they come out with at least a token 40k rules datasheet for this. I'm sure a lot of people had enjoyed trundling it around as a relic datasheet in the 41st millennium as well. It's quite a cool looking kit, and a lot of people prefer the tracked look of Space Marines over and above the Primaris Marines with all their fancy grav plates. Next up we've got the Deimos patterned Rhino, a classic looking Rhino kit with a whole load of pintle mounted options, including things like multi-melters. Just aesthetically, I think this could be a nice choice if you did want a Rhino. I quite like the Heresy era look, and I think that could fit in really well with the Chaos Marines in particular. Say if you had some Death Guard or Iron Warriors to be carting around. Then we've got Mark III and Mark IV Legion tactical squads, basically a double bill of the previous boxes that they'd released for these, and I have a feeling that they might be quite popular with some people. A lot of people do like the beaky, pointed nose helmet Marines, but I think at least quite a lot of people prefer the helms on both of these kits. I think they're fairly standard issue without having any fancy ranged weapons or things, just because the Heresy ones typically are armed all with the same weapon. And I think depending on price it could be an interesting way to get your hands on a whole load of Space Marines at a fairly reasonable deal. I'm hoping that they don't just take the price of the previous box set and double it because there's 20, though Games Workshop being Games Workshop, it's certainly a possibility. Next we have another Ahriman sculpt. This was the one that was released in Bernioff Prospero, and you could easily use this either in Horus Heresy or 40k. Personally I really quite like the sculpt of this one. I think they've done very well with it. It's oozing all over with sci-fi Egyptian vibes, and it's also pretty cool to see Thousand Sons in their Heresy era colour scheme of red. Definitely a nice move to see him coming back. Would have been a shame if he'd just been no longer available permanently. Then there's an absolutely massive amount of Horus Heresy Legion dice. I believe that these are ones that they've had on sale in the past, though I might be wrong, please correct me if I am. But there's certainly no holding back on the dice release here. There's 18 sets of 20 dice. All very expensive, of course, at their new normal price of £24, €31.50 or $38, but I won't deny that these will look pretty awesome on the table. As a luxury buy, I guess they could add a bit of a fun factor for your own given chapter or legion. Finally, there's a galactic map poster. I think this is 1 meter by about 80 centimeters. Shows a map of Heresy era 40k before we had the big Cicatrix Maledictum splitting the galaxy in two. I'm sure at least a few people will be tempted by that. And they're also re-releasing the Heresy transfer sheets, one for each Legion, and very likely the more economical way of having shoulder pads with your Legion symbol on, at least compared with buying the sculpted ones, which tend to go at a fairly hefty sum. Overall, it really is quite an enormous release for the Heresy. A fair amount of exciting stuff here, whether you're playing Heresy, 40k, or just want to pick up some things to paint. And as I mentioned, I'll hopefully do an update video to this, going through each of the releases with their prices later in the week. Perhaps the things that I'm most interested in are those tactical squads, the missile launcher upgrade things, and the Kratos heavy tank. At the right prices, they could all be quite interesting. Anyway, look forward to hearing your thoughts on it down in the comments below. Feel free to add any insights that I've missed, as always. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics, or I'll certainly keep the regular 40k stuff coming, with new videos out just about every day. Finally, I'll just briefly mention the giveaway once more. If you would like to be entered for that, or you'd like to help support Auspex Tactics, feel free to check out the Patreon down below. It does have a few other benefits, such as seeing certain videos early, regular votes to see what sort of things happen next, and things like your name in the credits if you want them. The link to that's down in the video description. Otherwise, feel free to check out the Patreon page on the 1st of June UK time. I think this one's going to be quite a fun giveaway, as it's quite a big exciting box. In any case, an enormous thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.